And we're back.
We're back? Did we ever leave?
Rich,
Yes.
I feel as if we're on a precipice. We're at a turning point in Star Trek history.
Are we? Or are we just at like a brief pause before Alex Kurtzman comes back in and starts knocking our toys over again?
Well, just a few days ago, Alex Kurtzman announced he's back.
Yes, I don't follow the news, and I heard about that. It smelled so bad.
He announced it on the day episode 7 of Star Trek Picard Season 3 came out, which seemed like some kind of slight. But Alex Kurtzman is back, and he announced a new series called Starfleet Academy.
Wow. I wouldn't have given a shit about a show about Starfleet Academy even without Alex Kurtzman in charge.
Great science fiction is never about the future.
Right, it's always about what's
the
happening
present.
right now.
They've been trying to make Starfleet Academy a thing for like decades with like video games and whatnot, and I just don't give a shit about Starfleet School.
It goes back a long ways.
Yeah.
It's the idea, but yes, I agree with you. It's Alex Kurtzman and someone named Noga Landau. She wrote for a couple of TV shows. One is The New Adventures of Nancy Drew. So I think this is going to be teen/tween aimed. Probably more annoying characters than anything Strange New Worlds could muster up. So it's going to be like nails on a chalkboard for me. I'm going to avoid it like the plague. But that's the latest Star Trek news, and we are entering a darker chapter of Star Trek Picard Season 3. The first 4 episodes I thought were excellent.
Yeah.
A high-quality, self-contained little mini Star Trek The Next Generation movie.
I'm not going to say that Star Trek Picard Season 3 has gone off the cliff, but some things that have happened that I think are stupid. And I'm just, right now, I would describe my state of mind as concerned. Concerned.
Yes, well, let's discuss your concerningment.
Yeah.
It's hard to discuss this because, what do we have, 10 episodes? Like I said, the first 4 felt like a feature film.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at this a season of Star Trek like this as a whole story, first episode is your introduction. Mm-hmm. Then you have 9 episodes left. It's a perfect 3-act structure. 5, 6, 7 is right in the middle. It's the lowest point in your dramatic arc. It's your darkest point. It's when all your challenges and awful things happen. So, having not seen the entire film, we don't really know what's going to happen. We fear the worst, based on several things that have occurred. Plot devices that seem very familiar that could lead to epic schlock.
Yeah.
Epic schlock, I think, reached its pinnacle with Star Trek Picard Season 2 when the android shot a laser up into space and opened a portal to another dimension.
That was Season 1.
That was Season 1?
Yeah, it was Season 1. It might have happened in Season 2, too.
Season 2 was the Borg. Well, I don't know, what's worse? I think the robots from another dimension with tentacle arms coming through
that was Season 1.
a giant butthole in space was worse than the Borg trying to create a fascist dictatorship on Earth in order to
still exist.
So that Alison Pill could become a kindler, gentler female Borg race.
I like it when Star Trek makes me think.
I don't even remember what happened. I couldn't remember. I don't care.
I just remember Will Wheaton was constantly on the outskirts saying, "Hey guys, remember me? Can you let me in? Can you let me into the clubhouse? Huh? Can I come in? Can I come in?"
And you are?
Will Wheaton showed up at the end and got rid of Asa Brones. Come here, you. Get you out of this series. No one likes you.
Come on, we're both out of here for good.
Let's beam away into infinity. What's her name? What was her character's name?
I don't give a shit.
There was 2 robots.
She's played like 8 characters on this show.
Oh, she wasn't the robot.
No,
she was Noonien Sim.
She was, Mike, in Season 1, she was 3 different robots.
Yes, she was, but then she was a genetically engineered daughter of Dr. Boom Boom Soo, who was trying to cure her of AIDS. And then Will Wheaton said, I have this traveler friend. He's a little strange, and he likes to put things in my but come with me, and we could travel around the galaxy.
He really likes grooming young children.
And come with us.
Come with us.
Yes, it was season 1 where Robot Gal was an ambassador. Remember?
No, Robot Gal was the ambassador at the beginning of season 2 because they didn't know what to do with her.
Oh, yes. And then she just vanished.
Yes. In season 1, she was deciding whether or not to literally murder everybody.
Oh, yes, the entire universe.
Yes.
Okay, so my point was, I don't know if we could achieve the level of schlock that has been previously achieved. If Jack Crusher is an engineered super weapon, and Vadic's ultimate goal is just to wipe out the Federation out of pure revenge, that is not going to be as bad as a butthole opening in space, letting in a robotic spider to wipe out humanity because synths, I was going to say synthoids.
It's fine. Because they're not, I don't know,
Is a synthoid like a mixture between an android and a synth?
Oh, I think a synthoid is just a completely made-up name that sounds science fiction-y.
I just did it.
And it's different. It's different than a normal android because it's got
I
a
just
weird
coined
name.
it. It wasn't in the show. I coined it.
Oh, I guarantee you I guarantee you, synthoid is generic enough. Somewhere in the annals of science fiction, that word has been used. I guarantee it, even though I can't prove it and have no examples to show you.
Shut the fuck up.
Would synthoid be like a sex doll?
Response joke not found.
Okay.
I want one more thing, though, while we're talking about the stupidness of seasons 1 and 2. Here's my big disclaimer for this middle chunk of episodes. Nothing I'm going to complain about is anywhere near as bad as the shit that has come before.
Nice.
You're not nitpicking. You have general concerns.
I have concerns
about the story arc and the ultimate point of the season. See, that's kind of where I was at. I was getting bogged down in the minutia and like, what is this? What is that? What does this mean? And then I said, stop, step back, and kind of look at everything as a whole. And I wrote down the good and the bad. And I typed it up to encapsulate it very quickly and succinctly.
Good.
And you let me know what you agree with and what you don't.
That sounds like a fine plan.
Then I have bullet points of certain things that we want to discuss that has happened so far. The good. Aside from some out-of-place, salty, and modern-sounding language.
Despite the fact that you are indeed a dipshit from Chicago.
The TNG characters sound and act like we think they should.
Yeah.
The show has aged them gracefully and correctly added in the right amount of drama. They all feel like where they should be. The show itself is very well produced and executed. The sense of adventure, wonder, danger, and drama is all very well done.
I would say that as far as the old cast and how they've changed, they feel like they've changed just enough. They don't feel like they feel like they've changed and grown as people, but they don't feel like entirely different people. It's not like Han Solo, where it's been 40 years and he's still smuggling on a ship with Chewbacca.
Or inappropriate future versions of them, like in the Star Trek Voyager alternate future Timeless, when Geordi was just a captain.
Yeah.
They tend to just make characters become captains.
When they do future things, that's the lazy thing to do. What happened to this character I liked? They became a captain.
Right. Geordi running the Fleet Museum's perfect. I think they made Scotty a captain in the Dyson Sphere episode. He's the captain of the Janolan.
Yeah.
The previous seasons of Picard felt uneven, preachy, and generally dumb. Thus far, Picard Season 3 has avoided all of that and given us a more Star Trek feeling of adventure aboard an actual starship. The music, which we haven't really talked about, is also exceptional, weaving in both nostalgia cues and new material to create an epic and emotional movie-like score. As a 10-part show each week, I look forward to the next. This is like a therapy session. Like when a therapist is like, as a 10-part show each week, I look forward to the next episode. when I previously felt more annoyed and burdened, just waiting for it to be over, fearing the next terrible and patronizing plot development, or Picard just rambling about the stars. The bad.
Okay.
After the first 4 episodes, which were a brilliant adventure film about Picard saving his son from the clutches of an evil villain, we might be heading into some familiar territory. Epic, large-scale revenge plot, super weapons, dark Federation nonsense, Picard possibly being genetically manipulated so that his offspring is an evil galaxy-ending supervillain, or something like that.
The fear is that the son is being engineered to be a genetically engineered super villain and super weapon, Mike. They're doing both in one.
That's the fear. The thin ice we are walking on could potentially crack into Kurtzman-esque schlock. I said, which peaked with androids opening a portal to let in an interdimensional robot spider to wipe out all life in the universe. Also, episodes 5, 6, and 7 have much less Liam Shaw.
Yeah, that's true. That is a negative.
That is the biggest crime of all.
Sorry. Just feeling chipper.
Here's a negative for me. I think the character of I keep wanting to accuse Vedic and Vedic because of Deep Space Nine. I think
Vedic.
Yeah.
They like hay.
Okay.
Vedic.
I think Vedic has now officially been ruined for me.
Okay.
I liked her in the first 4 episodes. I think Amanda Plummer was knocking it out of the park as just a generic villain, and I think she was perfect as like an opener sub-villain. And she served her purpose, and she should go away now, and like the real threat should present himself. But now that they made her the main villain, and she's so horribly generic, she hits all of the tropes for the lazy Star Trek supervillain. I love Wrath of Khan, but unfortunately the Wrath of Khan has become the template for Star Trek schlock. Whenever they want, we need a villain. What's a villain gonna be? Supervillain that wants revenge on a super ship with a misfit crew. Khan, we got Shinzon. We got what's his face from 2009. I don't even remember that fucking character's name.
Eric Bana.
Eric Bana. I was just calling him his fucking
Romulan.
actor's name.
Mad Romulan.
Mad Romulan man. It's.
And then the last one with Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Mad. He was mad.
Mad, wants revenge on Starfleet, world-ending threat, and there's a super weapon thrown in there.
There's always a big super weapon.
We've got a couple super weapons in this one.
Yeah. Well, those are movie templates that work in a 2-hour span of action-adventure. Yeah, you need a villain. TV shows, I mean, we've discussed this ad nauseum, are essentially 10-hour-long movies.
But Vedic, for me, has gone from being a useful tool to give our heroes a roadblock in the opening episodes, and now she has officially worn out her welcome for me, especially with her backstory.
Well, that's interesting you bring that up, because that is my first bullet point, Vedic. Mm-hmm. Vedic's backstory and motivation.
Yeah.
She is an insane changeling. Vengeful. So she was on. Well, we can mix this with Daystrom, right?
Yeah.
You had some issues with Daystrom. The Daystrom Institute.
We see the famous Daystrom Institute for the first time, and for people who watch this and they're not Trek fans, they just want to watch it.
We don't see it for the first time.
When did we see Daystrom for the first time?
See, here's the thing. I did a little reading up on this, and Richard Daystrom was in the original series.
Yeah.
And then they named the Institute after him. The Daystrom Institute was on Earth in Japan in season 1 of Star Trek Picard.
So that was the little robot center.
If you want to call it a wing, the android, the artificial intelligence or whatever, synthetic life form division.
Okay, so it was a division of the Daystrom Institute.
This is Daystrom's station. It's called a black site. So
why would Daystrom have anything to do with a fucking black site?
Because
Daystrom is a fancy university.
It is. It's like if Harvard had a black site where they did secret experiments underground. I don't know, Rich. I'm just saying. I'm saying there. And then there was a mention of a Daystrom Institute or building or something on a different planet. I think it's more widespread than just one place.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
but the fact that they also run an evil super weapons warehouse, it rubbed me the wrong way.
it's essentially the place where they stored the Ark of the Covenant in the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I guess. I don't know. It's very much like that episode of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show when he goes down into the basement of the evil Empire pyramid?
The evil
obelisk, whatever was floating in the water.
That was Emperor Palpatine's pyramid scheme.
Did you hear that? Yeah, so Obi-Wan's in the basement of a pyramid, and there's a bunch of, like, people in amber, like frozen, and they're like old dead Jedis, and there's a little youngling in the tank, and other characters from probably the expanded universe, whatever. So yeah, they have all their treasures hidden there.
What?
Weapons.
There's some fun odds and Easter eggs in there. They got the Genesis device, which the Genesis device blowed up. Okay, it shouldn't be there.
There were two Genesis devices.
They both get used.
Maybe there was a third one.
Fuck you.
Are we using the term Easter egg, memberberry, or fan service in this episode of Review, Rich?
They're interchangeable.
Okay.
They're interchangeable. I'll say fans. No, it's a memberberry. That's a memberberry. I'll go memberberry. We got the Genesis device. They got something in the background which I think is supposed to be the schematics for Nomad.
No, it's not.
It's not?
I examined it closely. It is a Borg amprode or ampule or node or something.
Okay.
It's a Borg product.
Okay. Either way is
that
fine.
would have been an easy prop to build. Yeah. You build
a cylinder. It's a fucking cylinder with some lights on it.
Yeah, I know. It would have taken 5 minutes to build it, and it would have been so awesome to see something from TOS in a little stasis chamber.
But apparently the Daystrom Institute, the fucking think tank of the Federation. Oh, they also got Kirk's corpse.
I'm okay with that.
Why are you okay with this? That is so stupid, and it is in there for a reason. It's also to justify why they also have Picard's corpse. But why would they have either of these corpses there? They should be in the Federation equivalent of Arlington National Cemetery. Not in a dingy warehouse.
The our world explanation is that we can have an excuse to clone Captain Kirk and have him appear in future seasons of Star Trek on TV as a deep fake with an AI voice.
Yeah.
Like they did with Mark Hamill when he came back in The Mandalorian. Give it another year or two, you can bring back William Shatner as a young Captain Kirk and just deep fake CGI the whole thing. Bring back Spock and Bones, and a robot imitates their voice perfectly. So we're almost there. We're like 95% of the way there.
Yeah.
No, but if Starfleet, like instead of leaving his body to rot under a pile of rocks, Starfleet scooped him up, put him in a stasis. He's one of the greatest captains, one of the greatest command minds in all of Star Trek. Okay, Rich?
We have to preserve his body in a fucking black site warehouse.
Hey, you never know. One day in the future, the Federation could be in a huge war, and it'll clone 100 Captain Kirks to command 100 starships. We need the best captain we can get. Get Kirk, okay? Get him out of the black site, clone him, and have him command 150,000 starships, okay?
Mike, is Alex Kurtzman brainwashing you?
I love it.
Yeah.
And then they could get 100,000 Spocks and 100,000 Worfs, 100,000 Picards, all in and then because the synthoids are opening 100,000 wormholes that lead to 100,000 different dimensions of robot spiders that are going to come in and touch every star in our galaxy and cause them all to supernova at the same time, creating an ultranova, which is a supernova caused by the supernovas of 190 billion stars.
Can you imagine the horrible fan fiction where 100 clone Spocks are seducing 100 clone Kirks?
We need the best engineer in all of Starfleet. Let's merge the DNA of Scotty and Geordi to create Scordy. I shouldn't have drank the fifth of vodka before I started this. So Vedic, during the Dominion War, Vedic and 9 other changelings were I guess, kidnapped by Starfleet and put on the Daystrom station where they were experimented on.
Yes.
Not just, they had already discovered a virus that would incapacitate the changelings. But Starfleet and the underhandedness of maybe Section 31, I have no idea.
I hate Section 31 so much.
I do too. I know you want your Starfleet pure.
I do. I really do.
Your Federation pure. I do too.
The fact that they're doing evil, sadistic experiments on changelings to create a secret super weapon spy annoys me to death.
Yeah. I like the drama of writing the line, but I only like it when it involves our characters. Like some of the better episodes of Deep Space Nine, like
Enter Arma. Einem Sealant Legis.
In Time of War, the law falls silent. Remember that one? When they go to Romulus. And then there's the one where Cisco, the famous "It's a fake."
It's a fake.
Cisco tries to create a fake holographic
In the Pale Moonlight?
in the pale moonlight. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the Deep Space Nine episode. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those where it's like we're at war and we have to find a way to survive. I do not like the fact that Starfleet is so ethical and righteous, and then in the back room they're doing not so ethical things.
They've done Starfleet as evil so many times now.
You want to go back to the good Starfleet.
That's just lost all of its weight. That you can argue that Starfleet is the good beacon. No, we've seen them evil so many times. No, obviously the pricks.
Well, that makes me more excited about Starfleet Academy.
That's a glib answer and a cheap way to avoid the fact that you've trampled on the very thing that those young men and women are out there dying to protect.
You have 2 career choices. Be a brainwashed soldier that follows a command structure, or be an evil scientist.
That's gonna be it. That's going to be the drama on that show. There's going to be a whole thing with people in Starfleet Academy recruiting for Section 31.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 Changelings were tortured by a lady who was whistling 3 blind mice. The changeling escaped. It was Vedic, and she has a pretty solid, no pun intended, reason for revenge. I guess, which deflated her character down to bad guy. From something that could have been more intriguing, or like you said, a one-off bad guy, we move on to something else.
Yes.
The Federation was trying to create like spies, like changeling spies that they could drop into other governments,
anywhere
planets,
and
and they
destabilize
couldn't be
and disrupt.
detected.
And, yeah.
See, to me, that whole concept is not a smart idea. To genetically create changelings that can't be detected because it could blow up in your face.
Because it's kind of stupid.
It blew up in their face.
It's kind of obvious, and the whole thing is stupid.
So Vedic then escapes and I think takes over some kind of the birdman spaceship. It's not like a founder ship.
No.
I don't even know if they had spaceships. I don't remember, and I think all those guys are changelings. I think you can.
Are they?
Yeah, because
I assume she just found a group of mercenaries and just kind of took over.
No, Riker at some point says, has she been manipulating you with that goo shit?
How much of that goo shit did they pour into you?
And then when they storm the bridge of the Titan, 7 of 9 opens a turbo lift, and then she turns around and there are 2 changeling forms that appear. And then one of them's Vedic, one of them's a birdman.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I guess it's not really important. They're just like henchmen. And she, I don't know who the floating head is, because remember she cut her hand off.
Yeah.
and then she was really scared, but she took on the form of her like creator, the scientist lady. So I don't know if she's an amalgamation of many changelings or the floating head. I guess we'll find out. See, that's the problem with talking about all this.
We're in the middle part of the story, and we don't really know. I would speculate that maybe that's the actual changelings proper in the Dominion, kind of using her to attack the Federation, but I don't know.
I think the changelings in the Great Link, in the big ocean of changelings, are all like pretty chill and peaceful, and she's her and her 9 friends are bitter faction that want revenge. Well, okay, so that seems to be Vedek's plot, and then tied with that is the Jack Crusher plot, which we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
Jack Crusher has been revealed to be the son of Picard and Beverly. He's roughly 20-something years old.
Now, I want to say for his character, like, he easily could have been obnoxious, Picard's son, who does the action hero things, but I actually kind of like him as a character. Mm-hmm. But whenever they do he has superpowers and he has, like, veiny blood dreams, I cringe.
Yeah, there's...
I know it's supposed to be, like, the mystery of Jack Crusher, but instead of being intrigued, I'm just horrified because I keep thinking of shit like the Red Angel.
Yeah,
I keep getting flashbacks to the Red Angel. It's so mysterious and cool. And then, oh God, don't do that. The season started off so good. Don't go down the path of the Red Angel.
Avoid the Red Angel.
Avoid the Red Angel. He's got ultra cool, super evil powers, but...
Is Jack Crusher? Yes, he sees the red door, veins. His eyes turn red. He can read other people's thoughts now. His powers seem to be growing.
Yeah.
He hears Vedek in his head. Vedek is saying like, "Come home, Jack. Come home." Then there's one part where it really sounds like it's Beverly Crusher's voice, and she says, "Find me, hear me, connect us."
Find me. Hear me. Connect us.
Then there's the Picard's Irromotic syndrome, where it may not have been that he has Irromotic syndrome and passed it on to Jack Crusher. Jack Crusher has something else going on. Clearly, Vedek wants Jack Crusher back. Mm-hmm. They also stole Picard's corpse from Daystrom Station. And so they're all speculating that Picard is an admiral. They wanted to create a perfect changeling imposter of him, so that's why they needed his body. But we think that it's probably a bigger plot involving Jack Crusher and his superpowers and some sort of like, because remember, like the premise with the Starfleet's secret thing with the changelings was they were creating undetectable spies.
Yeah.
So it would make sense if Vedek was also doing the opposite. And so is Jack Crusher really Picard's son? Is he something that she created? You know, do you know what I mean? Like, is he a changeling because he identified those 4 people as all changelings somehow? He knew that they were.
4. Tell me, Jack, how did you know they were all changelings?
I didn't.
We've got a lot of question marks, and I have been trained like a Pavlov's dog by Alex Kurtzman to hate mysteries.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It just seems like, yes, clearly there's something supernatural or super powerful about Jack Crusher, Picard, and
what worries me is because Picard's body and genetics are probably involved in this, that they're going to find a way to ruin Picard. Something they've done in this show in general is they've almost like deified Picard. Oh, Picard, yeah. The Picard. Oh, Picard is so special and amazing. And
it's like the Darth Vader syndrome.
It's like the Darth Vader syndrome. What I liked about Picard Picard shouldn't be special. Picard should just be a diplomat who is very competent at his job. That's why I like Picard. He he doesn't need to be the amazing chosen one. And if they do some kind of thing where he's like genetically engineered to be this or that, I'll hate it so much.
Wow, that's really awesome. I love that.
I kind of like that idea that the things that happen aboard a starship are rather run-of-the-mill. And it's just like part of the job, and they sort of brush them off, which is why I hated the line when Picard said, "Those were the days."
Those were the days.
Like Shaw's like belittling them, and he's like, "You guys crashed the saucer section. You did this. You broke the Prime Directive," and Picard would never say, "Those were the days."
Yeah.
He should have just turned to Riker and just went, just like, whatever, you know. So, but most of the Picard lines feel very Picardish. I always listen for that. I always listen, does he sound right? Is that something he would say? And I like all that. But bigger picture here, Jack Crusher, supervillain, Frontier Day. The time for Vedic to take out her revenge when all the ships of the Starfleet are assembled in one place. That's big picture stuff. In your view, what's the show about?
The stuff I've liked, I mean, I'll admit a lot of it's just nostalgia. It's seeing the old crew. I'm always happy. For some reason, I'm always happy when Jonathan Frakes is on camera. He's killing it as Riker this season. I'm actually enjoying the smaller scale stuff more than the large war and plots. The stuff they're doing with parents and children has been interesting. Picard finding out he has a son, Riker dealing with losing a child, Geordi and not getting along with one of his kids more than the human stuff. The small-scale human stuff has been enjoyable.
Yes, that's what I have done too. Reconnecting, that's a pretty big theme. Finding like your place. Picard, Jack, Beverly, all reconnected. Seven trying to find her new family. When she's talking about Voyager and her and Jack Crusher have that nice little conversation at the Fleet Museum. Geordi and his daughters, Sydney specifically, they have sort of a thing going on where he likes the one daughter more because she's more following in his footsteps. The other one didn't. Riker and Troi. We finally see Troi. I mean, we saw her on a hologram or communication, but they finally reconnected after being apart because Riker flew away after the baby died, or kid died. Son? Baby? I don't know. Was it a baby or
the son died of the disease that they couldn't cure because robot brains were outlawed.
Yes, that's right. Good job. How do you remember that?
Because it was so stupid.
So he was like, I feel nothing. I hate everything. The world, the universe is just a big black hole. We're all going to die. Then he felt renewed and refreshed after he saw space babies.
Space babies?
Give birth in a vortex. He reconnects with her. So there's a lot of the little stuff, which kind of, I'm wondering if that will tie into the overall plot.
I don't know. This isn't.
It should. I hope it doesn't end in big stupid bad guy wants big stupid revenge, because I hope Vedic's importance is more than just I'm a changeling who wants revenge.
I think that's where we're at.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
I think that's where we're at. I do not like Vedic anymore because it's just so lame.
Her performance
so tired. I want revenge against the Federation.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Her performance in the 7th episode was really good.
Her performance is great.
Yeah.
I just don't like the character. Yeah. But the performance has been great. Full credit to Amanda Plummer.
I wrote down here drama brain versus nerd brain, and I'm stuck somewhere in the middle. And yes, that will lead into Data, because you have to strike a balance between creating drama, creating an engaging story that you're hooked on, and the minutia of nerd brain. someone who doesn't watch Star Trek might watch this and enjoy it, because at the end of every episode it kind of ramps up, and it gets that music at the end of episode 7 was really good. It just kept building and building and building, and it's so well executed and addictive as a drama show. But then you have the Star Trek nerds who might just watch and go, nyeh, 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 nyeh. One thing I pointed out here.
I want to say I see what they've done with Data in this. I see this through both lenses at the same time. I see it through both the drama brain and the nerd brain.
Yes. Well, one thing real quick. The first changeling came aboard the Titan and killed the transporter chief, right? Mm-hmm. The changeling is the new transporter chief, right?
Yeah.
Who's probably pretty good at pressing the computer buttons, maybe doing some secretive shit. Why didn't he just beam the dead body out into space? Or beam it and it spread its molecules across stars, right?
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? Okay.
They could find the body and have a dramatic moment where a dead body, how long is that body going to be in there before it starts stinking? Right, Rich?
Yeah.
You have that wonderful little moment where 7 of 9 finds the dead transporter chief's body. That changeling could have incinerated that body with a phaser, right? Or beamed it out into space. It was the transporter chief.
I will nerd justify that one, though. The transporter logs show that approximately a human-sized matter of material has been beamed out into space. I'll justify that.
What I was saying was, the person in the crew quarters next to you could smell rotting human carcass. No, the changeling could then go and erase those logs. Nerd justify back at you. Checkmate, right? Or phaser.
Yeah.
Phaser.
Yeah.
It's not like, Undiscovered Country where the phaser sets off the alarms on the spaceship.
No one can fire an unauthorized phaser aboard a starship.
Or the warp thing. We talked about the warp thing.
Remind me which
warp in light speed in Star Wars.
Instant.
The Empire can't track you. But yeah, you jump to light speed in Star Wars. Darth Vader storms off the bridge of the Star Destroyer, pissed off because they know there's no way you could track him at light speed. You're gone. In Star Trek, warp speed is a little different. You have sensors that far exceed the range of light speed, or even warp 9.9. You could see something's approaching you 2 hours from now. We have a ship approaching us at warp 5. It'll be here in 2 hours and 48 minutes, right?
Yeah. Oh, they warped away. Chase them.
Chase them. Increase your warp by a factor of 0.1 and we'll overtake them in 60 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Because they can only go warp 8, go 8.1, and we'll overtake them in 4 minutes. But in this, the excitement is that the Titan warps out of there. Before anybody could get them. You got the nerds who could complain about that, that it's not canonical, where it has,
Yeah.
They don't have a special magical device that blocks their warp trail. They don't even mention it. But in a dramatic sense, it's much more exciting when they escape from their current predicament, right? So then we come to Data. We have to bring Data back.
Well, the way they introduce him is actually even kind of neat because Riker, Worf, and Rafi, they beam aboard, the Daystrom Evil warehouse to find the information they need. And they're encountered with all of this weird shit. The facility is hooked up to an advanced AI. That's your first dramatic hint that Data might be coming. This weird advanced AI, and then the security measures. It's all like shit out of Data's subconscious. We get evil Moriarty. We get the crows, and it's like this dramatic thing leading up to the reveal of Data. But when you look at it from like the nerdy sense, like, okay, why are we hooking up one of the experiments that they're working on? Why are they making that the security for the facility? That's the first thing I thought. Why the fuck are you doing that? That's weird. Also, the logic behind this version of Data, I on one hand, the drama of Data and Lore being in the same body fighting for control, dramatic. On the other hand, why the fuck would you ever do that? I want to make the perfect android. I'm gonna mix together the brains of Albert Einstein and Adolf Hitler. That will make the perfect android. And then we'll take this insane concoction we've made, and we're gonna make it in charge of the security on our super weapon warehouse.
When Worf mentions that the security on Daystrom Station is done by a sophisticated AI, it sounds so like 2023. Like AI is like such a new concept. It's like, I think by the 24th century, 25th century, every computer is an AI, right?
They should have said a positronic defense system.
That's the logic in the show, is that Data's positronic brain, created by Noonien Soong, or the Soongs, is such an advanced piece of technology. Riker even says it. It's far beyond what Starfleet could even do.
Yeah.
Like a Vulcan gangster outwitted it with a computer chip, right? He gave them a computer chip to outwit it. I mean, is it that hard to maintain security? But see, the point is while it's so advanced, we have it hooked up to control it. That's a way to bring Data back.
It's stupid, but on one hand it's stupid. On the other hand, you get the lighting, you get the music, the callbacks. But when I analyze what they did, I just go, that is so fucking stupid.
All of this feels like it could not necessarily be a coincidence to me, and I was wondering if you had thoughts on that.
How would you have brought Data back? Just spitballing here, bro. Let's see, Data's dead. They erased his brain on Alton Soong's magical space hippie planet, robot hippie planet. Data kissed a butterfly's wings and cried and vanished into the ether. B4 is still alive, but he's dumb.
Yeah,
Lore is potentially still in Starfleet storage?
I'm trying to remember if they've ever actually said what has happened to Lore. I'm pretty sure at some point they said he was disassembled and put into storage.
Yeah.
Lore is no longer functioning, sir. He must be disassembled so that he's no longer a threat.
Yeah.
Because the last we saw of Lore was in the Borg two-parter Descent. Data is the only exception that he's too hard to bring back. I think they should have. See that, and then
you say that it would be very easy. Maybe not as interesting, but it would be very easy just to say, oh yeah, we B4 Data's memories eventually took over, and B4 is basically just Data now.
Sure,
that would be very easy to do.
That would be as interesting.
Yes, no, it wouldn't be as interesting.
This has the dramatic flair of the. It doesn't make sense logically, but you have the two personalities in conflict. You have Data struggling to come out from underneath Lore, and B4 would have to be a CGI character, because Alton Soong, his hologram appears, and he's like, I merged Lore and B4 and Data, I guess, and I gave him a new golem body and gave him the wisdom, the look of old age because I had to, because Brent Spiner's old, and I'm out of here. Peace out. Deal with it. And his ghost vanishes. It's like, I died. I was going to use the golem for my own self, but I didn't, because the show needed to bring Data back. I'm out. Peace out. And then, so Brent Spiner himself is old. You couldn't bring literally Brent Spiner back. You could have a CGI Lore running around as a villain. That would have been kind of fun. And just the voice of Brent Spiner, but that's it. So it's like, it's nearly impossible.
I understand that Brent Spiner is not an android and he ages, and to some degree, as far as him aging, I'm willing to just turn my head, look the other way, and say, yeah, I get it.
Oh, sure.
You could just say, he got B4's head it was in a fire, and it kind of got a little bit melty.
It got hit by an age ray.
It got a little bit melty in the fire, but we saved it. Okay, it's fine.
He got a little pot belly. B4 had too many snacks.
We had an extra armor to the midsection.
See, but that's your drama brain. The nerd brain's out there. Where does he look old? You know, they'd have a conniption fit.
But
So I don't know. That's a conundrum. But I think they had like a bunch of like crappy parts, and they taped them all together, and they slapped over a lacquer of drama gloss over it. The bird, you know, the monkey chase the weasel song, the memory of Riker, the drama with Geordi, and they just slathered as much drama lacquer on it as they could to make you kind of make it palatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I right side of my brain says I get it. You had to do that. But a little bit of my nerd brain says, well, why didn't you just have him like in a research room, like laying on a table, like connected with a million wires? And the point is like, one, to bring Data back, but two, to they wanted to go to Daystrom Station to find out the mystery of what the other thing the changelings took was, which ended up being Picard's body. So that was why Data was in charge of the whole thing, is so that he saw that. So that was another reason to bring him in. But you could have just said, like, Data's all plugged into the network. We'll have him download all the records, and then we'll get him out of here.
Data's the only thing I know of that could download these records fast enough.
Sure.
Yeah.
And is it Data? I don't know. I think it's Lore's body, but who cares? His positronic brain's so advanced, it's just sitting here in this empty room with wires connected to it. Let's use it to quickly break through the Daystrom, security and download all the codes and see what's missing.
Oh, this cheap Romulan hacking device didn't work at all.
Yeah.
What are we going to do now?
Right. Let's get the fuck out of here. So yeah, you could have finessed it a little bit to make it a little more logical, but. So one thing I noticed too, I don't want to say that the show has a lower budget than the previous seasons of Picard. I really don't know, but it's interesting. Most of the show, so far all of the show, has really taken place on the Titan.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the Titan is the set from the Stargazer, from the last season. So you have the Titan, you have scenes in Guinan's bar, also a set they've used.
Multiple times. I'm assuming a decent amount of the budget is going to the cast?
That's probably a good point, yeah. And maybe visual effects too. But I think it works well in the overall story because we're all aboard the Titan and there's a conspiracy going on and we don't know who to trust, and so we don't get those scenes like previous Star Trek Picard seasons were like bouncing all over the place, right?
They're in California. Oh, they're 300 years in the past in the Ubala system. Oh, they're on a Borg cube. Oh, they're on an alien android asshole planet.
But remember Admiral Fuckface? No, it was the Vulcan lady who put on the sunglasses. Remember her?
Yeah.
And she was like conspiring with Romulan gal who was posing as a human, a Starfleet officer, spy, and so we've seen like, you see other elements of the conspiracy or the bad guy plot. All the Romulan witches on the planet worshiping the anus, whatever.
Rolaren.
I like the episode where Rolaren comes back. One, that's another reconnection. And I think you and I probably had the same reaction. It's like, how is Rolaren still in Starfleet? She pulled a phaser on Riker and joined the Maquis.
That seems like grounds for permanent you're out.
Yes,
Yeah.
but she explains it, and it sort of makes sense. But I think they chose her character as like a double fake out because we're supposed to be suspicious if she's a changeling. And it's like, oh, she doesn't have her Bajoran earring on, and so we're sort of like, what's going on with that? But she comes over from the Intrepid, and they come over on a shuttle, her and a couple security guys, but we never see like the bridge of the Intrepid. We never see who their captain is. And same with like the other starships that all show up. We never cut to them. We never cut elsewhere outside of the Titan, which gives it kind of like that. It's probably a budgetary thing, but
yeah, it's probably done for budgetary reasons. But the fact that we don't know for sure what is going on elsewhere kind of strengthens the, well, we don't know what the fuck is going on or who's been compromised.
Yep, it adds to that sense of paranoia or mystery, I guess.
Yeah.
Of and you had said to me that you hate the episode Conspiracy.
It's not my favorite episode, but I know a lot of fans of TNG seem to really like it. So I don't blame the producers of Picard for going to that compromised Starfleet's been infiltrated angle. I don't blame them for going there. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but
This is a little more dangerous. It was probably pretty easier before to just look on the back of somebody's neck with a little fishtail coming out. The entire command structure of Starfleet has suddenly decided to grow mullets.
Look for the mullets, Captain. That's the key.
If they have a mullet or they're wearing
just shoot them, sight unseen.
Admiral so-and-so is wearing a turtleneck. Admiral so-and-so never wears a turtleneck.
It's not a mullet. What do we do? Shoot him anyway. We need to be sure. My wife knitted me this sweatshirt.
Oh no, my wife knitted me this giant scarf that's wrapped around my neck 100 times. Take off the scarf, Admiral Fuckface.
Shut the fuck up.
So it seems so antiquated now, doesn't it, with undetectable changeling monsters?
Yeah. Just look at their neck. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. To me, I don't know, a conspiracy plot isn't interesting, but
I know they're not technically Starfleet, they're infiltrators, but I'm just, in general, I'm fed up of evil Starfleet. It was a fine death for Ensign Ro. And the fact that they did kill off an established character that sufficiently raised the stakes.
That was a good part.
Yeah.
It brought Captain Shaw on their side. I love when he tells them that he's already contacted Starfleet to come and get them. Picard's like, well, I guess we better contact Starfleet. It's time to face the music. He's like, oh, I've already contacted them. They're on their way. You better start getting your bullshit story straight.
Shaw's he's the perfect blend of reasonable and asshole.
Yeah. I think he's a big hit with the fans.
Yeah.
Have you spent any time thinking about how you're like kind of linked to Star Trek now forever?
Yeah. We're getting Star Trek, I don't know, Starfleet Academy or something. It's not going to start shooting until like 2024, so it'll be a while before it comes out. But there's a push by the showrunner, Terry Matalas, to have a spin-off series to continue on with Star Trek, with a show called Star Trek Legacy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's something he came up with or fans or what. Like, it's like everyone wants Captain Shaw and 7 of 9 to be on adventures and bring back Geordi and all these characters. And there seems to be a push for more of this guy's Star Trek and less of Kurtzman's Star Trek. But this, the appropriate, you have to have humor, you have to have some levity. I like Worf. When Worf insults Picard's wine, just classic Worf.
that was a line of dialogue straight out of TNG. Yeah. That whole exchange was great.
Like, I enjoy
your
when
sour grape water, whatever
sour
it was.
mead.
Sour mead.
It's like the famous scene when he's eating Riker's terrible eggs. All the human characters think his eggs are disgusting, but Worf's scarfing them down. The man that loves to eat live worms loves Riker's eggs. It's just funny.
Delicious.
Worf is generally a pretty funny character, yeah. But he can work as a serious character too. But they've got him pretty down pat, and him being a pacifist is just funny. It's just classic Worf.
No, that's a fine evolution for his character. It's fine.
So everyone, like the writing is more serious. There's that one moment though, like they're having that very serious discussion about breaking into Daystrom Station, and Picard says burgle.
So we burgle the very institution hunting us.
And Riker says, excellent use of the word burgle, Admiral.
Excellent use of the word burgle, Admiral.
And then they just keep going, and I thought it was an outtake.
No, I think that was a very direct shot to the whole hang hung thing.
Really?
From season, yeah. They're making light of the misuse of hang and hung.
You think so?
Hanged and hung, yeah.
That would be tremendously hilarious. My mother hung herself.
Yeah, that is hilarious.
Picard knows how to speak proper English.
They had to remind us that Picard does in fact know how to speak
He
proper
does know
English.
like real words, yeah. Excellent use of the word burgle, Admiral. No one says burgle as a verb, right? Well, here we are. We have 8, 9, and 10 left.
Yeah.
The final act.
It'll determine everything. The final act, if they can pay it off. Is this going to be a mess of mystery boxes? Or is everything going to wrap up in a solid, well-executed story arc? I don't know. And I hate that I don't know, because I'm so used to being shit on.
If this were Kurtzman Trek, we would just be waiting with our mouths open for the shit to fall, right? And we would just be like completely at ease.
Technically, you would have had me strapped in a chair with some kind of torture device, like forcing my jaws open with Alex Kurtzman squatted above my face, but yes.
This giant rectum is going to open up and unleash hell in your mouth. It'll be like, it's like a Clockwork Orange, a Clockwork Brown, right in your space hole. Yeah, no, I know. But that's why I said at the beginning of this discussion that we're standing on a precipice. We're on the edge of a cliff. Mm-hmm. And just a little nudge, we fall off that cliff. And then this goes away. Our last hope goes away for good Star Trek. And Alex Kurtzman and his nightmare associates come in and take over and start making Starfleet Academy and crap again, and the nightmare continues.
Yeah, like Vadic is fully revealed as a lame, I want revenge supervillain. Oh, footing slipping a little bit. Oh,
no!
Oh, somebody thought it would be a good idea to mix Data and Lore's brains together. Oh, but it was really dramatic. It was really dramatic. So I don't know what we're going to get. I can tell you, I love the cast. The TNG crew, 20 years later, they still have great chemistry together. I love seeing them on camera. I like the new characters.
Yeah.
I like Sidney LaForge. I like Shaw. Those are positives. I like little human moments more than I like the big overarching Frontier Day story. We'll see. I'll give them some credit because I really liked the first 4 episodes.
Yeah. We have a new thing out on the table today. We have a bunch of collector's plates that were given to me by a friend.
Wow, it's made out of easily shatterable porcelain. It'll probably make a really fun sound if it were to break.
Whoa!
Oh my God! Don't do it.
When should we break the plate? If the show ends up being terrible at the end?
Here's about you. In terms of Star Trek and judging Star Trek, you are the Roman Emperor, Mike.
Okay.
And Star Trek currently is in the gladiatorial Colosseum, and you got to give it the thumbs up or the thumbs down, Mike, at the end of this. Yeah. And I think that is that plate.
Okay.
Okay.
Hashtag fate of the plate.
Hashtag fate of the plate.
Okay.
It'll be trending on Twitter all over the place. Fate of the plate.
If the plate survives, that means Star Trek Picard Season 3 was a success, and we might go on to Star Trek Legacy and a bold new vision, future of Star Trek awaits us if the plate breaks. the evil Emperor Kurtzman and his goons take over and give us more terrible new Trek.
Oh, absolutely.
How about this? I break the plate if the season sucks. You have to eat a meal off the plate because the plate specifically says not for food use. Food consumed from this plate may be harmful and dangerous to you.
So
this is a decorative accessory, and the paint contained within this plate is a carcinogen.
So if the show sucks, the plate gets destroyed. If the show's good, I get cancer?
Yes! That sounds like a fair bet to me. Fate of the plate. We're out.